Hey, I'm Shane from WOVENWAR, and I don't know what I'm doing.
First day of this tour, huh?
Yeah. Yes,
Literally
yes.
getting the wheels turning.
Yeah, we just drove straight from, well, not straight, we had two shows on the way, but from Philly, so, and somehow, like, strep throat started going through our van, so I'm kind of under the weather right now,
It's
but
not a good thing for a singer.
no.
Man, talk about the East Coast weather. Was it just crazy out there or what?
Yeah, well, even through the Midwest and stuff,
Everywhere.
it's been just snow and snow and stuff. You can probably get a shot of the van at some point afterwards. It's just covered in salt.
Man.
From the salt on the roads.
So you guys are road warriors. You're taking the new album out there. Tell us about, first of all, who were your musical heroes? Like growing up, who really got you excited about doing it?
Oh, man. Chet Atkins, Brad Paisley, John Mayer. I don't know. I guess metal-wise, I'd probably say Dillinger and Meshuggah and stuff, but I haven't listened to anything heavy in a long time. Except we just did that Periphery tour, and I listen to their record a lot now, and Nothing More too. But I don't know. I was into like classic rock too. My dad got me into like Leonard Skinner and Neil Young and stuff like that growing up. So kind of that, and Eric Clapton.
Those artists are still doing their thing?
Yeah, Skinner's still touring.
Man, what is it about some of those bands from the 70s and all that? They never die, man. That music is like timeless.
Yeah. Well, that generation is still alive too. So, but yeah, the songs are timeless, and Zeppelin and all the. I mean, I love classic rock.
It's a rich sound to pull from. You know?
Yeah.
Those guys pull directly from the blues and some other deep stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I listen to a lot of blues too. I like a lot of jazz too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell us that joining this band, because we know As I Lay Dying, and we know you. How did the two come together?
Well, I'd known Nick most of my life, and whenever all the shit went down with their singer, I was on Warped Tour with Those Sleeper, and they called me up and asked me if I wanted the job, and I was like, yeah. And but Nick had showed them. I guess Nick had been like following my career and knew that I was starting to sing a lot, and we were even writing like music on the side together and stuff, and I was singing over it. Excuse me. And everybody seemed to like my voice, so right after Warped Tour, I flew out and wrote All Rise the first day I was there, and then we showed the label, and everybody liked it, so here we are.
You just jumped in and started clicking, and there was no reason to give up.
Yep, and the second day we wrote The Mason, so I don't know, went pretty quick.
Well, tell us about what kind of character Nick and these guys are to overcome such an amazing challenge, to keep the music going.
I think it's insane. Like, they were all put in a position where they're like, oh, we don't have a job anymore, and they didn't get down about it. They just hunkered down and started writing new stuff, and at the time they didn't know who or what type of singer they were going to have, and so I don't know. It must have been awesome, but that's really a question for them.
Yeah, of course, but just the thought of, in a sense, like you say, having to start over again in a way.
Yeah, it's
because they didn't just find a new singer for the band; they formed a new band.
Totally new band. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I'm doing it too with. Sleeper's around for 10 years too, so I don't know. It's a hard thing to go back to ground zero, but we've got the right team behind us, and they get us on the right tours, and I couldn't be having a better time. That's for sure.
So as much as it's fun to rock, you got to have the agency, you got to have the management, and the label putting it out there. If
you want to grow fast, yeah. I mean, if you want to, yes. And our team is fucking awesome. So, and they're all going to be here tonight too, which is cool.
Amazing stuff. I know Metal Blade's right up the street up here.
Yep,
right?
Yep, they're right.
Yeah.
Right over there.
Yeah, and all that. Kind of a hometown show for.
Sort of. Yeah. The guys are from San Diego, so all the wives are coming up and stuff. That was one of them that just hugged me a minute ago.
Wow.
That was Phil's wife. But yeah. Every time we play SoCal, it's like a thing, and then every time we play Dallas, it's a thing for me.
School reunion.
Yeah. And Nick lived in Dallas too for like, I don't know, 20 years. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, for those of us that don't know, talk about the dedication, the commitment it takes to be on the road, to take music to people in this year and time.
Well, you risk your life every night driving, especially if you're doing a winter tour through snowstorm after snowstorm. The Periphery tour, it got followed by, or I guess stayed ahead of it a little bit, just this disgusting snowstorm, and I don't know, those are kind of trying times. We're driving ourselves this tour and just sleeping in the van, and that, being like a 30-year-old, that stuff kind of weighs on you sometimes, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. So.
I mean, every day you gotta have that gut check.
Yeah, it's usually on stage. You're like, this is worth it, and then, unless the crowd sucks, then it's not. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
Yeah, one day you're, in normal weather. Next day, like I say, you're trying to keep from slipping off the road.
Yep. Yeah, and now we're in beautiful sunny California, and it feels amazing outside. 2 days ago, I was, I think it was negative 20 degrees when we were in Philly. I don't remember. It was something like that. And now here we are. And now it's just gorgeous, insane.
Yeah, that's great. Now, where's this tour going to take you? Going out through Texas, or where's
No. We're going. We're sort of hopping back and forth from here to Utah, and then go back to San Diego, and then go up to Canada, and then we finish in Milwaukee. So it's mostly a Canada run.
Is that right?
And
so
West Coast.
Vancouver and
Yep, Edmonton and over to.
Toronto.
I don't know if this is going to Toronto, that far west.
Okay, Calgary.
Yeah. Because we just hit Toronto on Periphery in Montreal.
Now, I know you don't get to see necessarily a lot of the cities where you go, but just the driving and everything gives you a perspective. A lot of people grow up in the same town, on the same city,
Yeah.
Obviously, part of the payoff is to kind of get out there and meet new people.
Oh, yeah.
New thing.
I mean,
talk about some of the cultures you've seen.
Oh my God. Well, those guys took us out, and Flames took us out for 7 weeks all over Europe, and I'd been to Europe before, and UK and stuff, but got to see, and we got a lot more time to hang out because we were on a bus, and shared it with a band called While She Sleeps, best band ever. But I got to see all sorts of stuff that like my parents never got to see, and cultures that they never got to see, and it gives you a really unique like mindset of like, you go back home and people are just so set in their ways and really believe this one thing, where you go around the world and you see all these other people and you're like, might not actually be the case,
Sometimes just an hour away.
Yeah. So I mean, just going around the world, it's definitely gives you unique perspective on like the reality of where the world's at.
The first time you went to Europe, I mean, so much of it is so old. Rome and Paris, and you could just feel the thousands of years.
Yeah, especially in Paris and Rome too. But Rome's kind of, it's like a little dirtier, and Paris. Well, I guess Paris is sort of dirty too. But yeah, it's insane. Just art everywhere, and like every patch of ground that you walk on is just someone died. Someone was born there. Someone like, I don't know.
World War.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it is insane.
Yeah. So music's obviously the universal language. What are some of the other things that it kind of surprises you? You're like in some faraway land, and it's like, wow. Besides knowing the music, what kind of freaks you out that the world is really connected through music?
I don't know if I ever got freaked out. There's culture shock sometimes. Like when we were in Amsterdam, and there's just like mushrooms in the windows, and you could just go in there and buy them. But and I didn't. But I don't know. I never really get freaked out. I just get really interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but just that curiosity stuff. It's like, culture shock that they're different. But sometimes it's like, damn, man, we're like 20,000 miles from home, and these people are just like us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the one place I think I'll get the most culture shock is when we go to Japan, which we don't have in the books yet, but it's like that's the only place I haven't been that I've wanted to go. So can't wait.
So what do you envision? You get off the plane and there's just like...
Well, all my friends have been there, so I know like...
People everywhere.
Yeah, and I have a good buddy that lives there too. Neofumi Mitsuhashi is his name. But he'll show me around. He's like a big investment banker there, and he'll get me around and show me a good time.
In Flames, who are some of the coolest bands you've been around, in your days in this biz?
Oh my God. Oh yeah, the Sleepers toured with everyone, and we've made friends everywhere. But with this band, for sure, In Flames, we bro with them really hard. Periphery, we got along with insanely well. Thank You Scientist was amazing. Nothing more. But I think our closest like band buddies is While She Sleeps from the UK, because we shared a bus with them for 6 weeks or 7 weeks, and just fell in love and had so much fun with those guys. It was insane. Yeah.
Back to the heartland, England's crazy. They're driving on the other side of the street. They're the only ones that don't have the damn euro over there. And it's just, they still got the palaces and the queen and all that. Isn't it crazy in this day and time to think of a place that's got a queen and a...
Yeah, but she's more of just like an ornament, I think. Their parliament really,
but it still
I think,
brings you back.
Yeah. There's like it's still a dynasty there, for sure.
A moat.
Yeah, they're also not the only ones not on the euro. Like Switzerland's not, Denmark's not, Finland, Sweden, they're on two different. Norway's on a different one.
Well, they're just drastically different. Anybody that's gonna go on the other side of the street than everybody else?
Oh yeah, of course,
you
yes.
know they ain't bucking with the rest of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you must have drivers from there, right? Because it's a little insane to immediately be thrown into the other side of the street.
Our driver was from Germany, so he's been doing it forever, and he just doesn't.
Used to the UK.
He just
transition.
Yeah, it didn't phase him at all.
From America that never drove on that side, it's
very weird. It's very weird. My first time to see it was the first time I went to Australia, and they do that, and it hurt. It was weird.
You gotta go backwards. Everything you've ever learned driving a car for tens of years.
Yeah, I would die for sure if I drove.
Now, obviously, performing in front of enthusiastic fans is what it's all about. But what else do you try and do, in your shows? Obviously, you're trying to put on a good performance, but is there something you want to leave behind?
I'm not the type of frontman that's like, all right, everybody fucking get on your fucking knees and do all this weird shit. I don't know. I just try to have the best time and like play my songs and sing as hard as I can, but what I've heard back feedback wise is that everybody can tell that I'm having a great time, and I want everybody else to have a great time with me, and that's really my personality offside the stage too. So I don't know, I'm constantly smiling and like grabbing people's phones and using them for my guitar slide and shit. I don't know, just trying to like make them have as much fun as I'm having, and
take down that barrier between the audience and the band.
Because that's what we're here for, is just to play for these people. So
yeah. And from what you see in the business, what advice would you give to that young band, young player, somebody that wants to do, no matter who's gonna try and talk them out of it, it's in their blood. What advice do you give them to either be able to persevere or find their own unique sound?
Huge question. Wow. I don't know. I guess just don't try to be anybody else, and don't let anybody else's opinion of what you're doing really kill your motivation. I mean, people can put opinions in and everything, but ultimately, like your creative outlet will be unique unless you're just completely ripping off someone. But just the way I did it was just like surround yourself with great musicians, and you'll end up typically being a pretty good musician. Like if you surround yourself with the right people and the right mentalities, that's the best place you can be as a musician, because the whole negative like criticism internet like message board shit, I don't know, doesn't work. So yeah. That was a lot.
Well, I know it's a big hometown show. We really appreciate all, and best of luck on the album and tour.
Thank you. All right.